And I'm also thinking how the word fire could refer to gunfire, surviving in war zones and being born into a war zone and not given the opportunity to leave, but being forced to stay and live in fear. And I'm also thinking that the word fire, independent of the word survivor, the line born in the fire, I'm thinking how this word can symbolize religion itself, um, being born into a religion, because the word fire in the Old Testament symbolizes the presence and the power of God, like the fire burning in the altar, how God tells the priests to keep it burning always and not let it go out. God coming to Mount Sinai engulfed in flame, and in the New Testament, Jesus baptizing with Holy Spirit and fire. And in Islam, Allah rescuing Prophet Ibrahim from being burnt, making the fire cool and full of peace so it wouldn't burn his skin and consume him. I'm sorry if you hear noises in the background. It's just some people playing football in the football spot in the neighborhood. And it's not kids, it's adults making a lot of noise, just kicking the ball around. Um, it's just every time I try to make a recording, it becomes really noisy. Um, and also, is a source of punishment where only Allah can punish with fire and ordinary people cannot use it in warfare. So many examples of the fire element all throughout all three religions. And I thought with the song title that it can show this side of the song, being born into the fire as being born into a certain circle of faith and forced to follow along like the rest of the family, leaving no room for wondering, exploration, or free thought. And then the next lines, and war, tell me who's the winner. War, everybody's a sinner. Um, and I just wanted to say how much I love this idea that the narrator is addressing war like he would address a human being, because it's very interesting to see war being this personification of war, because war is this thing, it's like an entity, big and limitless and boundless. It feels like it lacks anything that can be somehow connected to humanity. It's missing all the ingredients of a human heart, and its cruelty feels like it's beyond anything humans can do. But war is also this multiple headed monster. It has in it all these faces. It's a composite of all the evil people who ran them and orchestrated them, who planned them and carried them out. All these faces making up this thing, this darkness, um, or this bundle of fog, like Alexander the Great's one blue eye and one brown eye and his helmet of painted feathers, or Caligula's upturned mouth and curls, Attila the Hun's deep frown and gold helmet spotted with painted glass, and Cyrus the Great's ruly beard and thick lashes under a crown of jewels. And I'm thinking all this negative power, this reservoir of dark, destructive energy, and the narrator is standing up against that, addressing it directly to all of its grinning faces, with all of their eyes full of victory from long ago. And it shows his strength, and it shows all of humanity's strength, looking for war looking at war in the eyes and surviving, just like he said. And I'm thinking how, even with all of these human faces inside that massive war, the human faces of the conquerors, they don't make that thing human. With all of their human features, war remains an unhuman thing, perpetuated by humans against humans, and the impossibility of it. And so, him treating it almost human, addressing war like it's a human being, it shows the magnitude of war as we see a single person facing it, standing right in front of it, talking to it about morality and about his own strength and resilience. Because the next lines in war, tell me who's the winner, war, everybody's a sinner, it's just, they're, these lines are brilliant. They're brilliant. They sum up in rhyme form the things every philosopher and human being would like to know or acknowledge. And the way you use the word "and" at the beginning of the line, um, it creates this feeling of continuing the dialogue with war. Another thing said to it, because the narrator tells it four things, facts and questions all together, and he's saying and war, and it creates all of these points as if the lines that came before that were points in this dialogue where human wonders and debates and war answers with silence, as silence comes at the end of all wars. um, and war, the dialogue continues, and I love how it goes from the person to the group concerning matters of morality and life. It's going from personal story, the narrator's life story, him dealing with it, surviving through it, to other people, to the whole of humanity. The question, tell me who's the winner, it concerns the narrator, but it also concerns the whole of humanity as people with intersecting fate. It happens all around the world. Every person is affected, and with the way you write, the way you word this, you can see it real clear from micro to macro, something small to something big, something private to something public. You see the subject expanding right in front of your eyes as the listener, and the transition is so smooth. You make it so smooth that you can barely feel it, and the shift happens so easy. The same way it happens in real life, that when war happens, a person's first experience with it is how they feel it, the change and fear it forces onto their lives. And through that, through going through that, while in the midst of it, thoughts about other people's safety and survival start surfacing, and the person starts thinking about it all. They ponder the philosophical side of it, the verbal debate philosopher's version of war, the way Plato and Aristotle would, strolling side by side in the midday heat to the sound of bare feet sticking to stepping stones and gown billowing on the wind. And they become empathetic and rational, and the bigger picture, um, the great disastrous impact on everything that's human. And I just love the way that you made that shift, going from the singular to the many. And I'm thinking about how much I love the way that you worded this, how the narrator is saying, tell me, because it feels um, like more than wanting to hear someone else's opinion. It's such a big question. Tell me who's the winner, and It's such a complex question that seems real simple,